If you're looking to learn guitar, check out Dave Isaac's Guitar Studio on Music Row. Whether you are a beginner or hobbyist to professional songwriter or artist, Dave offers a unique and powerful method of instruction that teaches not just the instrument, but the whole musician. Find out more at NashvilleGuitarGuru.com. If you want to feel the wind blowing through your hair and see the great city of Nashville at the same time, check out Nashville Scooter Tours. Trekking through the downtown streets to Music Row with Nashville Scooter Tours is safe, eco-friendly, and a whole lot of fun. They use Xenon electric scooters that go 55 miles on a single charge. Find out more by calling 615-290-5563 or book your reservation today at NashvilleScooterTours.com.
Today on Music Business Weekly, John Judkins, professional guitar player, instructor, and musician.
Today's show is brought to you by locally owned and operated Highland Rim Speedway. Highland Rim Speedway is celebrating its 50th anniversary this year with great short-track, door-to-door stock car racing in a safe, family-friendly atmosphere. Visit their website at highlandrim.com. From the family grocery hauler to fire-breathing racing engines, the one name you need to know is USA Motor and Machine, located at 51 Cleveland Avenue in Nashville, Tennessee. Give them a call at 615-726-3725 or at usamotorandmachine.com.
John, welcome to the show. It's great to have you here.
Great to be here. Good.
All righty, let's get started. Now, you, since 2002, have helped facilitate in booking shows and doing promotion for bands. Mm-hmm. What kind of advice can you give bands today doing the same thing?
Of course, having a good social media presence is important, and that's becoming extremely obvious. But you can get easily lost in the noise these days, especially in Nashville. Everyone is just a promotion machine. You know, phones and laptops and iPads and stuff constantly doing this, and you can get kind of just overwhelmed. But the most important thing, I think, in this day and age is just face-to-face interactions. There's so many shows, so many good bands in and around the Nashville area, specifically that you should probably go see a lot of bands that you feel are in your category, in your style. Talk to the members, talk about booking shows with them, talk to the bartenders, the door guys, the sound guys, because they're the ones probably booking the shows, or they will be a booking agent at some point. That's why they're doing it. And just become friendly with these guys and just old-fashioned hand out your CD demo. A lot of people don't do that anymore. They expect you to do the work. If you get something like a Facebook invite, they expect you to click on it and go listen to it. But that's, it's too much. Even that's out of control these days. There's too much out there. So just handing somebody a CD does a lot of work in its own.
Do you still do that?
Yeah. Actually, on this past tour that the Hard and Draw booked, it's a band I play lap steel and acoustic guitar in. This is our first 2-week tour. We've only been a band for about a year, and we self-recorded this album, self-produced it. We're self-recording it right now, but we had enough for a demo, and so we booked the shows, and then we sent about 50 to 60 CDs to every venue that we were playing. It was about 14 venues. And when we got to those shows, those shows happened, people were already there talking about us. They knew the songs, they knew who we were very, very looking forward to it, and they'd burnt the CDs and handed them to other people. So we saw a very good representation of how well that works. And I'd never done that before. It's always been like digital promotion, like, you just send links and invites and things like that. But sending the physical CD to the venue along with flyers and just having the venue stack 50 CDs, and the regulars come in every day for lunch, or they come in on Friday nights for drink specials or to watch a band, and they're like, oh, what's this? It's a free CD. They go home, they jam it. And the music, if it's good enough, you don't have to beat them over the head with promotion. Once they hear a couple of good songs, they walk away and definitely think about it and come back.
It really is the era of free music, and you think of free downloads, but the idea of actually sending the hard copies to people is good. I like it. It's old school, but it really is effective because they're already connected by the time you show up.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's a good piece of advice. All right, let's talk about touring. You've played over 130 shows in 20 countries as a bassist. Okay, so what are some of your favorite moments from playing overseas?
The festivals the festivals in Europe, specifically like the heavy metal festivals, because that's most of my touring experience comes from being in heavy metal bands, sludge metal bands, and things like that. It's just outrageous in Europe. Over here, you know, you think of Bonnaroo, you think of 80 to 100,000 people. That's a big deal, you know. But it's, you know, different types of music, multicultural sort of situation where you could hear Metallica and Avent Brothers on the same tour, and that's awesome. It's great. But over there, they've got the same presence, but for heavy metal. Like there'll be a festival with 40 to 60,000 people, and it's all for, you know, Motorhead, Motley Crue, Slayer. It's all that stuff. So.
It's huge over there, right?
It's like popular music over there almost. Here, you know, your radio stations are primarily based around, you know, here in Tennessee, country a lot, and rock and pop and R&B. But there, it's very neutral. It's mixed in. It's a part of the family. It's not the black sheep. It's not a subgenre. It's just straight up rock music and pop music. So playing those festivals is amazing, and looking out in front of 3,000 or 4,000 people and just holding your fist up, you know, and having everyone else go at the same time. Oh, it's you know, my first rock and roll moments, I guess. You know, been playing music since I was 13 or 14 in dingy clubs, and then going to a festival of everyone is, you know, back to back
on board.
Rocking and rolling. There's no explanation. No one has to go, you know, get into it. They're there for that specific purpose. And
that must be a rush.
It is. It's something, you know, you never forget, you know.
There are all these subdivisions, different genres within metal. Mm-hmm. Like I never heard the term sludge metal. What are some of the different genres that you come across?
Heavy metal. I think heavy metal is straight up like, you know, Maiden and Priest and you know, Metallica and things like that. But those bands all bring, you know. There's so much, like you said, sludge metal is like a dirgy, slow, kind of swampy sound, slower metal. You know, you've got black metal, you've even got like transcendental black metal, you've got Norwegian black metal. There's, you know, even in the black metal genre, there's so many slices of it, you know.
Do you know if you hear a heavy metal track, can you place it where you think it belongs and all those?
Yeah, unfortunately.
You can?
Yeah. My mind works that way now, you know.
Let's talk about the Yeah organization. This is really cool. You are the Rock Block manager. Tell us about that organization and what you do with it.
Okay, it's Youth Empowerment Through Arts and Humanities. That's what YES stands for. We pretty much take, you know, kids that are interested in the arts and music and put them in situations where they can grow in that area, in a comfortable environment with very skilled instructors, people that you know, are professional, have done it for a living for a little bit. Like, say, for instance, we have a videography class. We've got arts and crafts. We've got DIY and things like that. But the most successful program so far has been the Rock Block program, and that stemmed directly from the Southern Girls Rock and Roll Camp, which has been going on for about 10 years. And the camps have been very important, but they were doing so well that we started doing this weekend, year-round program. And so me as a Rock Block instructor, I'll get 4 or 5 kids that sign up. Of course, we'll have 20 to 30 kids sign up per session, and it's our job to take those kids based on their needs, their stylistically what type of music they like, their level of experience, and put them in a band together, and then teach them a cover song, and then teach them how to create a song, how to write a song. And
is this extracurricular? It's outside of school?
Yeah, this is on Saturdays. The Rock Block, the sessions are on Saturdays. Of course, the summer camps are during the summer, but it's outside of school. It's something that the kids sign up, the parents sign them up.
Is there a website? How can kids get involved? If there are any kids out there watching today and you want to do this?
Yes, watch and rock. yeahintheborough.org. It's YEAHINTHEBORO.
Cool, and that's in Murfreesboro,
right? Did I spell
right?
that correctly?
Yeah, I think borough anyway. I don't know the rest of it.
See, it started in the borough, but we have a Nashville program, and it's been going successfully for about 2 years now.
That is awesome.
Yeah, and the kids. I mean, the thing is the kids are becoming so good at this stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, because I've had kids that when I started in 2009 doing this, I've got 2 or 3 kids that started with me at the same time, and they're still with it. So we're like,
they're like mini professionals.
Oh yeah, we're together. I remember the first day walking into that place, and having like 3 cups of coffee and just being like, okay, I have to do this. How do you do this? Because I was used to one-on-one instruction, being a guitar instructor, and then having like 4 or 5 kids looking at me, and I had never done this, and they'd never done this, so it was kind of like, okay, make a move,
Yeah.
And so going with it, and a lot of these kids have stuck with it, and they're rocking. They're like, we've had 2 or 3 bands the past 2 years play the Green Wagon East Nashville, like Tomato Fest, and programs like that, where they want the kids there, and the kids are playing alongside, some really killer Nashville bands, and
Wow.
rocking faces, and it's awesome.
I love that. We actually have a clip, right, from the workshop. Let's check it out.
Panels during the day, different people will come and talk to you about maybe music journalism or music history, different things about the industry. And then you also have a workshop that you get to pick, something like photography or music history,
songwriting,
screen printing, recording,
do-it-yourself arts and crafts, which is pretty neat. And then they go to band practice. And on that first day, we throw them in a room and we say, get a band together. And 5 or 10 minutes later, we've got 12 or 13 groups of kids, and they all pick their own band managers. There's at least 2, usually 3 or 4 band managers who work with the kids for the whole week.
The people that volunteer at our camps are people who love music and people who are excited about the opportunity to empower these kids.
Such a good program, such good stuff. I want to sign my kids up. Let's talk about your bands, because you're in 5 bands, at least 5 bands. Our Wake, Laser Flames, and the Big News, the Screamin' Boll Weevils, which I hear is kind of a parody, country
Yes.
parody. That sounds hilarious. Seafood Hotline, and the Hard and Draw.
Yeah.
So between those commitments, how do you find time to teach?
I've got a extremely supportive work group around me. Like my job is I work at a little mom and pop record store, and the owners of the business Media Rerun in Murfreesboro come by. They're a couple of kind of hippies from 60s and 70s, and the owner actually played on the Opry with Skeeter Davis for a few years, and they're both musicians, and they both still perform to this day. And so they understand the importance of it, and allowing me to go and do this thing, because they know that the more they allow me to go out and do this, the better it is for everyone. They're like friends and family to me, and so I come back to work, and I'm just happier to be at work. And
but sometimes you have to go and tour with these bands.
Yeah. With Jesse and Christine, they're a married couple that work there. They're the son and daughter-in-law of the owners, and they pretty much are owners. They're like my brothers and sisters, so they're extremely supportive, and I give lessons there at the store as well.
Oh, perfect. So it's all part,
I
happy
just kind
family.
of jump off my post whenever it's time for me to do the lesson, and I jump back in and sell some records.
It's a fun life. Your life is music from dusk till dawn.
Completely, yeah, but too much. Pretty much dawn is the correct word
Yeah.
for that. Yeah.
Let's talk about TV jingles, because you've gotten to write some commercials and stuff like that, right? How'd you get involved in that?
I had a girlfriend at the time was working for this little clothing store, like used clothing store in Murfreesboro, and they needed a closing jingle because they couldn't get everybody out. Like at the end of the night, people
It's
would
like
just shop.
closing time. Like
Yeah.
It was,
It was just as annoying as that song. Yeah, but I wrote that, and a friend of mine wrote that, and had so much fun doing it, and you made like $50, and you're like, whoa, it's the first paying gig ever for music, So, but she liked it, and then so she decided to buy some airtime on the radio, and so I did a couple of more jingles for her that way, and then a couple of her business owner friends liked that, and then so they got me doing that, and so it turned into a fun little, project for me. It's always fun to get into that and kind of disconnect myself from the band writing situation and jump into that. And
it's a challenge, isn't it? Because you know how many seconds it's got to be. It's got to go to picture. And I've gotten to write a couple things for films where I've gotten the film, and it's really when it works together. Picture with your lyric, with your sound. I don't think most people realize when they're watching media or film or anything else how much the sound has to do with it and the message. Because you think you're just watching something, but really you're getting just turn off the volume on a movie, and
Exactly.
you'll notice how much stuff has been sounded.
Yeah.
on. So it's a great way to supplement your income and stuff as a musician.
It is. I wish
Yeah.
I could do it. Wish I could do it more. It would
Yeah.
it'd be awesome.
It's fun. So what's coming up for you? Any other projects? So you sound super busy, but is there anything we should know about coming up that we should pay attention to?
Well, the sign-ups for the winter session, January 19th is when the session begins. So you can go to yeahintheborough.org and sign your kid up for Nashville or Murfreesboro. In Murfreesboro, we have been, I believe we had it at, I'm trying to think of exactly. We
But it's
move
a
around
minimum
lot.
of 10 years old, so don't go if your
Yeah,
kid's
exactly.
not 10.
Yeah.
Do they have to have any like musical experience? They have to-
Zero. Don't even have
Okay.
to have an instrument.
And boys and girls and
Boys
all
and
are welcome.
girls.
How much is it?
I'm not too sure. The thing is we are completely nonprofit, completely volunteer and donations.
Good.
We love volunteers. Anyone that wants to instruct and teach, we welcome it. You don't have to have any musical experience. It's very helpful to have musical experience, but we just need people there that enjoy working with kids. But you can sign your kids up on the website, but we are also scholarship based as well.
Good.
So all of our performances that we do as bands outside of it, we do a lot of volunteer shows and stuff, goes to helping kids go to rock camp, and we've never turned one kid away.
Pretty soon, you started in 2009. Pretty soon, you'll be hearing some success stories from baby musicians
From
who
the
come up
kids.
from this who are now professionals.
Well, there already are.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're familiar with the band Those Darlings.
Yeah, of
And
course.
then the band Be Your Own Pet.
Yeah.
A lot of those kids started at Southern Girls Rock and Roll Camp.
Oh, that's so cool.
And so they're rocking. They're still doing that. But what I was saying is we do, like, for instance, I don't know when this is going to air, but we have this weekend, we have a Night of the Living cover bands. We do about two or three of these a year. And it's where adult musicians, people that volunteer for camps, join up and perform cover songs, but all the proceeds go to the Yeah organization. We raised $1,500, I think, a few months ago at one of these, and it's pretty amazing. But that's on the Yeah front. The Hard and Draw is finishing up our first full length, and we're going on a spring tour. And Laser Flames and Great Big News is going in the studio at the end of this month, and Seafood Hotline is finishing mixing our second record. So that's what's going on.
That's a
At least
lot. You
in
must
my
wake
brain.
up every morning and be like, what am I doing today? I have.
It's a horrible.
Yeah.
That's the frustrating thing is I make about 7 trips to my car when I get up to go to work,
Yeah.
because I go to work first and I work there for 7 or 8 hours, and then I'm done there, and then I'm like, okay, which band practice is it today?
Right.
So I have to, which guitars am I taking? Am I bringing earplugs? Is it acoustic band or metal band tonight? What
I
am
love
do-
that, though.
But,
Living the dream, though. Good for you.
Yeah, I appreciate
Doing what
that.
it takes to make it in Music City. John Judkins, thanks so much for joining us
Thank you
on
so much,
Music
Greta.
Business Weekly.
I appreciate it.
And we'll check out the camps, which sound
Of course.
amazing.
Yeah.
And we'll see you next time right back here at Talkapolis. Microcasting for your city. Talkapolis.